purpose. You talked about getting out from underneath the bus.
Yes.
What, as you recognize some of these perceptions of people, whether they be in society, family members, medical profession, the isolation, the depression, the self-absorption, those are like those, they almost want to hold you under there. What did you do to realize I'm under a bus and I need to get out?
Yeah. Well, I think it was, at a point where I was experiencing a lot of pain. I wasn't seeing a lot of other people, um, and there was a measure of depression entering in, and I just, felt it all pushing in on me. I felt like I was in a hole, and, I, who wants to be in a hole? So, this is kind of where this journey began. And it's been a long one. And, I don't always stay out of the hole. I don't always stay out from underneath the bus. Sometimes I throw myself back under there. Sometimes other people try to stuff me back under the bus. But, I kick and scratch and fight to get out from underneath there as best I possibly can by using some of these things. There's just a lot of things in society is invalidation of our pain. You're a faker, you're a seeker, you're just depressed, you're mental, you're difficult to be around. It wears me out to talk to them is something that could be said about me. And trying to balance a relationship through chronic pain, what would normally take place, but doing it through chronic pain and being aware of where we are, being students of our bodies, and being an encourager is just good anyway, in any state of existence.
What were some of your first steps, movements, thoughts, as you said, this isn't life. This isn't good for me to stay where I'm at. Do you remember kind of what you did?
I felt like life was passing me by. I did not, my career path was completely changed. I felt like everybody else was getting up and, going to work and had all these things to do and, meetings to go to and places to go. And I didn't, that wasn't happening for me. And, putting those pieces back into place was the beginning of my journey out from under the bus.
You think it was finding a new purpose?
Yeah. For one, part of it is financial, very difficult. Chronic pain can really cause problems in that arena. But yeah, finding a new purpose, one in, really being interested in others. Cause like I said, being inside yourself sometimes isn't pleasant. It's especially if you've got chronic pain.
It gets boring too, doesn't it?
And it is. I already know all that. I want to know something about somebody else. Tell me something I don't know. His dad used to say, right?
That's right. That's right.
So, yeah.
Those steps, it took a determination to take those steps. You had to decide.
Yes.
You had to, you didn't say next Tuesday I'm going to do it. You have to say today I'm going to do it.
Good
and you
point.
have to take that. You have to take that step, and even if it's I'm going to stick my head out and I'm going to, I'm going to go to the store.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to get up
great.
and I'm going to, I think I can do this over there, and just make those small incremental steps. I mean, you don't want to, rebuild, your barn you know, your first journey out. You have to
I
work
actually
your
do,
way
but
through. You haven't done it yet, though.
another day, another day. But yeah, the point
Um,
you made is you're making is routine. That was probably exactly where I started. It occurred to me that I didn't have a routine anymore. I just stagger from place to place and do the only the necessary things that needed to be done. And I wasn't being a good student of my body. I wasn't keeping good track of my um, medications and supplements. And, I was just doing everything sporadically. I didn't have a system. It was when I began to become a student of my pain and started to use ice methodically and establish a routine to the extent that I wrote down the routine for Monday and I stuck it on my refrigerator. I sweep the floors on Tuesdays. I do what laundry or, I mow the lawn, I just anything, everything. But I tried to get all of these regular things to do so that I had a purpose. Every day when I got up, I had a purpose. I had a job. I had something to do. And from there, there's all kinds of spin-offs from that, new projects and I was that in turn would bring me out of the doldrums. It would, um, when you're doing things, you're breaking things. So it would give me, things to fix and, figuring out new ways of doing things and just routine, routine, routine.
I think it's interesting you said you put it on the refrigerator
I did. I did.
and you don't live alone. So putting it on the refrigerator
Yeah.
held you accountable.
Hmm. Yep. True.
And
True. Good
and if
point.
you have Tuesday that you do the floors and your lovely wife coming home and Tuesday the floors don't look like they've been done, lends itself to say the floors aren't done. Are you okay? It also
Yes.
creates a dialogue, but it isn't a source of accountability. The other part that I thought was, as we've been discussing, is when you talked about your caregivers.
Yeah.
Um, one of your caregivers are people that you live with.
Yes.
And I think about being interested in their life, it's easy to overlook the ones
Oh
that live
boy.
in the home because you figure, well, they already know what's going on, or I already know what's going
Mhm.
on with them. But you have to take the initiative to say,
Mhm.
what's going on with you? That part that takes you out of yourself and
Yes.
puts you in, and lets them know that you still want to know what's going on with them. And those are those caregivers and the people that live within your home. I think that that's a really important piece to being involved and being an encouragement.
Yeah. How's your afternoon? You know, how is so and so? Are they shaping up? Are they, yeah, very, very important. That, and that's probably the most important. And you said something about, like if my wife comes home and she sees that, whatever activity or chore wasn't done, she knows that something's going on with me. Like, how are you? What's going on? And it's more that direction rather than why aren't the floors done? So, but it's that caring back and forth. And, I am very blessed because, my wife does understand. And she too, a certain extent, has become a student of my pain. It's not something I've asked, but she has, and she understands, and she helps to remind me that, remember last time, have you, didn't you, ICE, didn't you go to that PT? Who were those PT people that helped you with that and that kind of thing? So, there are resources and a tremendous asset in this journey, of living with and through and getting to the other side of chronic pain.
That's a really good part because they can help you remember things that might go by you. So
Yeah.
it becomes more of you're not alone, you're a team.
Yeah. Oh boy. Yeah. Yeah. It helps in that isolation, and you do feel very, very alone. And a lot of times when you're in the throes of um, a very, very painful time, I don't know about anybody else, but I can't think my, I can't think it through because I'm just so racked with, what is going on. And that's a tremendous, tremendous asset.
Um, for some of you that might be watching us, I think in pictures. So a lot of times when Sean and I have conversations, I say, "This is the picture I have in my mind," as you say that.
Yeah.
And as he spoke, um, what came through to my mind was chronic pain being fireworks, and you can't hear what your wife's saying beside you, even though she's speaking to you, because the fireworks are much louder. And I think
Yeah.
that sometimes um, you just have to wait for the fireworks to die down so that you can converse again, or you have to learn how to communicate through those times when you have an event where the pain's a little worse, or you're struggling a little bit more with controlling it. And I
Yeah.
think that that's where communication is so important with those that live in your home.
Oh boy. Yeah. And, sometimes I can, in those times, I'll say it, I can be rude. I can be very abrupt. I try very, very hard not to, um, but I am. And when I do that, I do need to make it a point of saying I'm sorry. And the other part of that, which is more difficult, I know there's hardly anything more difficult than saying you're sorry, but next is asking for forgiveness. Please forgive me. That's the harder part of it, but it completes that, and it really gives closure to that circumstance and helps us to move on. And I think when I do that, she understands, um, that I really am sorry.
That is an incredible point because oftentimes when there's um, struggles like this, relationships are hard to maintain. And that's
Mm.
another topic for another day. But I think it's important for you, like you spoke so vulnerably about, I get this way. And I think you said that I try to work on it. It's that recognizing the issue, bringing it forward in your thoughts. So when the pain comes, I feel edgy. I feel this way. I have to be on guard, not to be abrupt, not to be short.
Well, yeah,
And then if
yeah.
I do, I'm going to address it immediately and walk forward and get through it so that it doesn't affect my relationship.
Mhm. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that that's important. I think a lot of people, that's that outward looking that you were talking about. It's that
Yes,
recognizing that um, your wife doesn't have chronic pain,
yeah.
but
But
she
my
just
pain just hurt her.
exactly, exactly, and recognizing those pieces. And on that point, we we had this kind of we closed this point of under the bus and living there and not going back there is talking about key words in relationships.
Yeah,
Um, if you want to kind of talk about that to
yeah,
communicate in between you that are kind of like key words.
yeah. You know, outside when, we're with family or, with friends, what have you. Sometimes, I do get really tired, or, I'm having a pain event, and, I need to get some rest. And, just whether it's a little tap tap on the knee, or whether it's a key word or key phrase that we've worked out, predetermined, that, hey, when I tell you this, that means I need to rest. And, maybe when I say this, that means I gotta go. We gotta go right now. Or, let's wrap. And it's good for any relationship, I think. But, um, having those predetermined in place, so you don't need to sit there and have the conversation in front of other people. Well, can I do this? Can I do that? Do you need ice? Do you need so forth and so on? It's predetermined, and you're not drawing attention to yourself. I don't want my pain to draw the attention. I don't want it sucking the air out of the room. If I need to go, I just need to go.
Important to say predetermined. I think that, husband and wives always, they have their own language, and you can find your way to communicate. Sometimes it's just a look, and
Oh
the
boy.
look, and you know what to do. And just like we did with our parents. But I think it helps to lessen confusion. It helps to take you out of a situation that could be uncomfortable otherwise. And I think that those are just proactive measures so that you can stay away from a pitfall that could create problems.
Confusion. Yeah. Yeah.
What encouragement would you have for somebody in closing up today about getting out from underneath the bus?
There is a way forward. We don't have to live in isolation. And it's really kind of a recap. Um, don't be invalidated. Don't feel less than. Um, don't go there. Watch out for your self-talk. We can talk ourselves um, down just as much as other people can. And really truly looking out for what we're doing, having that routine, and mapping a way forward, and recognizing that it doesn't have to be this way. This is not the end. This doesn't have to be where we don't have to live under a bus. There's lots of life. There's a big world out there, outside of there.
Before we started this, there was a couple of things as I was waiting. A couple of points came to my mind. Is I asked Sean. I said, "Sean, what's your name?"
Oh,
And I
yeah.
said, "His name isn't Chronic Pain Sean, and it's not Sean with chronic pain. It's not even Sean who has chronic pain. His name's Sean,
Yeah.
and there's so much to him." And I think if that could be an encouragement to anyone that has that debilitating chronic pain, you are more than what your pain is. You are
Yeah.
more than the diagnosis that they gave you. You are a much broader person, and you are going to find your way out. And we encourage you to subscribe, hit the notification button, and also to leave comments. What do you want to know? What do
Yep.
you want to share? What do you want to say? Hey, this worked for me. This is my struggle. And the whole purpose of these videos is to tell you that you're worth it.
Mhm.
You're worth the journey that you're on. You're worth the energy that you are stirring up within yourself. You are worth it. You have a purpose. You're going to find peace, and there's possibilities through this journey. Do you have anything to share, Sean?
No, that's good. Other than, yes, do ask questions, do share a piece of your journey. How have you found a way forward? And how, we need to be able to share that so that we can combine our efforts in how to get past this, how to live with this. So yes, please. Thank you.
All righty, thank you. And we'll sign off for this episode of View from Under the Bus, Living a Fulfilling Life with Chronic Pain. We look forward to seeing you again, and we'll have a new topic and new hope. Until then.